Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kenz TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this afternoon's video, if you will. 3:26 p.m. Sunday afternoon. So I wake up this morning after a long night, to say the least, and I get a couple messages. You know, it wasn't overwhelming, but I had a couple messages, and it was like, "Real Kenz, what do you think about Jay Williams' situation?" He went live last night, and we just kind of want your opinion on it. Well, I was at work last night, initially, so I wasn't aware that he went live. So upon reading these messages, I watched the live. And first of all, salute to Jay. That's the first thing. Salute to Jay Williams, man. Let's live life. For some reason, if you're not familiar with his channel, go check it out. Most of you all are here because of Jay Williams. You see what I'm saying? So I would assume that most people are already familiar with him, but nevertheless, you never know. If you're not familiar with Jay Williams, go check his channel out. Let's live life. So I watched the live video, and it made me have nothing but more respect and admiration for the guy. See, a lot of times, like the story that he told, which was the truth. So I don't know if you necessarily can tell call the truth a story. But however you want to put it, I knew verbatim, word for word. It was as though I knew what he was going to say next. Now, the only reason is because, we've been in communication. We don't talk every day. We don't talk every week. But he's told me some things on a personal level on the phone that I would never divulge to anyone. And what's so crazy is that the exact same way, the exact same things that he said to me is what he said on his live. His story never went left. It never wavered whatsoever. I'm talking about 100% exactly what he told me. Now, to give you all kind of an overview, if you will, of how Jay Williams and I actually met, he's the reason that I started my YouTube channel. I didn't really watch prison, YouTube channels or what have you. I used to watch Big Hurt over at Fresh Out Prison series. I used to watch Big Hurt all the time. And I thought he was hilarious. I thought that he was informative. I thought that he was genuine. And he is. And somehow, Let's Live Life, Jay Williams' Let's Live Life, came across my, I seen it one day. I said, let me check dude out. And like many of you all, I'm assuming, once I watched the first video, I was hooked. And I watched this channel for a while, and I was like, wow, I can do this. I can tell my story. I've been to prison. I've had to endure certain things in life. Maybe I can help someone. So I started my channel. And when the whole situation happened with Jay Williams, I believe it was back in September, he got arrested. For you all that don't know, he got arrested. They charged him with having a gun. I think it was a felon in possession of a handgun, or it was something like that. In Kentucky, that's what they call it. He's in Virginia, but they're both Commonwealth states. Fleeing and evading and, just trumped up charges, basically. And I seen so many people that were supportive. So many. I'm talking about, I seen a overwhelming support that they had for Jay. But the thing about life is people pay more attention to the negative than the positive. And you had a lot of people that was just dragging his name through the mud. See, I told you he'd never change. Once a felon, always a felon. Once a criminal, always a criminal. He let us down. He was doing stuff to his kids. He beat his wife. He had a gun. He took the police on a high-speed chase. He did. And I continued to hear it. It wasn't as though I just seen it one or two times. No, it was, continuously. So people were getting, clicks and views off of his name, but in a negative way. Because we're on YouTube. We're all going to speak about somebody. I don't care if you're speaking about someone you was in jail with, your brother, your sister, a celebrity. We're all going to speak about someone. So I feel compelled to say no. No. See, you all don't, the people that's never been to jail, prison, you wouldn't understand. Now, it's a great thing that you've never been to prison. You've never been to jail. But you wouldn't understand. It's kind of like it's a jail thing. So I feel compelled to step up and say something. And say, you all don't even know what's going on. For instance, if I get pulled over, this is, hypothetically or what have you. If I get pulled over, let's just say I have some pills in my pocket. Okay? I'm not using the pills, but I have some pills in my pocket. I have my 8-year-old son in the car with me. Again, I'm not on, I'm not drinking. I don't, anything like that. But I do have them in my pocket. I have, let's just say 20 pills in my pocket. Police pulled me over. You know why I pulled you over? Yeah, I got a pretty good idea. But, why'd you pull me over, officer? So he tells, he goes on to tell me why he pulled me over. Now, he finds a reason to search my car, asks me to step out of the car, what have you, and he finds the pills. Now, the pills that he finds on me, instead of him, they're not in a proper container. So if they're, Xannies, they have to be in a Xanny prescription container. So say I just have them in a totally different container that's not labeled. This is what they're going to charge me with. You're going to charge me with having these Xannies that I'm prescribed, but because they're not in the proper container, you're going to charge me instead of just simple possession. No, you're going to charge me with trafficking. Trafficking a controlled substance. Then you're going to charge me with not having the pills in the proper container. Then you're going to charge me with endangering the welfare of a minor because it was an 8-year-old in the car. Then you're going to charge me with trafficking within 1,000 yards of a school. Hell, when aren't you around a school? When aren't you around, within 1,000 yards of a school? And so it's like, then you're going to charge me with, just wanton endangerment. Because being that I had these pills in my pocket that I haven't used and I have a child in the car. You see what I'm saying? Then you might charge me with what is it called in Kentucky? I forget what it's called. But you all get the logistics of what I'm saying. You're going to trump all these charges up on me. So now when I go to court, I have 6 or 7 different charges. My bond is sky high. $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. It hits the public. It hits the media. So now it's, wow, this guy really must have did something. I mean, if he didn't do it, why would they say it? Why would they arrest him? Why would they put it out there like that? Why would it be on social media? Why would it be on the news? And everyone starts to form a public opinion. Everyone starts to convict you based on an arrest. Based on one arrest. And so when I seen that with Jay Williams, it was just like, wow. Even though there's a overwhelming support for him, there's still a lot of people hating on him. And they don't even know the situation. They weren't there. So again, I felt compelled to speak up. Never had met the guy, never had talked to the guy. He was just an inspiration for me to start my YouTube channel. And not just that, his stories really resonated with me. A lot of his stories that he tells as far as, the prison, I've done that. I've gone through everything that he's gone through in prison. Everything. Know all about it. 3-time loser. Know everything that he's talking about. So I really related to what he was saying. So when I made my first video, I got a nice response. So I made another one. 2 videos turned to 3. 3 turned to 5. I don't know how many videos that I did, but my thing was this. I wanted to be that bridge for him. Because, initially he was in jail. He couldn't tell his side of the story. His mug shot was up. People, like I said, they were saying this. He said they were saying that. And how could he disappoint us? And how could he? First of all, he's a man. He's not a perfect man. I don't know anyone walking the face of this earth that's perfect. Do you? So he's a man first. You're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to do things that aren't necessarily the right things to do. And so when I started making these videos, my whole intent was to be a bridge. Now, when I say to be a bridge, it was more so of he can't speak for himself because he's in jail. Initially. At some point he got out. And I continued to be that bridge. Why? Because your lawyer is going to tell you, hey, don't say nothing. Essentially, your lawyer is putting it's kind of like a gag order. Don't say anything. Because when they tell you that anything that you say can and will be used against you in the court of law, they mean that. That's what it is. So you have to get out and figure out a way to, appease my fans. But at the same time, I know that they're wondering what's going on, but I really can't talk about it. As much as I want to tell my side, as much as I want to tell my story, I can't really say anything because my lawyer has already instructed me not to say anything. Prosecution, Commonwealth of Virginia, they're aware of who Jay Williams is. So they're watching his videos, they're monitoring. They're not sitting here watching his whole video, but I'm saying they're monitoring so he can't say anything. So you got these people, oh, well, if he's innocent, why ain't he saying anything? Because it doesn't work that way. Your attorney handles everything. I'm sure it was eating him up inside to not be able to say anything. But he couldn't do it. So I decided to be that bridge. At the time, there was I had no motives. I never thought that I would talk to Jay Williams. I never reached out to Jay Williams. Hey, man, hit me up, man. I've been out here making these positive videos about you. No, it was never that. I'm a real one. He's a real one. Real recognized real. Respectfully. It just so happens to where one of his, someone that was cool with him, they seen my videos. They was like, yo, Jay, check this out. Jay was like, look, man, I don't want to see nothing else. You know what I mean? People's on here bashing me. He was like, no. This guy right here, he's not bashing you, man. Check him out. Jay went on to tell me that, initially he didn't look at the video. And one day he ended up watching it. And he was like, wow, man. Wow. One day he hits me up. He's like, yo, Jay, we're going to touch bases, what have you. We exchanged numbers or whatever. I gave him my number, whatever. I really didn't think anything of it. To be honest, not to say that he's not a legitimate guy. Not to say that, he's fake or anything. I just didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, bro, glad you're home. Handle your business or whatever. There's nothing that I can really tell him that he doesn't already know. Like I said, we've been in the same boat several times. one morning, I don't know, it was maybe about 10 o'clock in the morning. My phone's ringing. I see Virginia. Pick up the phone. Hello? Yo. This is Jay. Now he talks, it's Jay. What's up, Jay? I kid you not. First time I've ever talked to the man in my life. We talked for probably over 3 hours. Not much about YouTube, just about life, just about what was going on, just about, different things that, we spoke on or what have you. And it was just like, wow. Because I understand the betrayal that you feel, even though that 98% of the people got nothing but love for you, probably 99, that 1% kind of stands out. It's like, why would people say these things about me? I got thick skin. I'm from these streets, these mean streets of, Virginia, and I've been to, Philly, and I've been, so I understand, but it's like, wow, why would they turn on me like that, man? And so, we shared a couple stories, we talked or what have you. And like I said, YouTube never really even came up. We talked as though we've been knowing each other for years. You all have to understand that going to prison, being in prison is a nightmare. Now, I know some of you will say, well, don't put yourself in a situation like that and you won't go to prison. Ideally, that's the goal. But you never know a person's situation. You don't know how an individual, not giving anyone any excuses. But we're not all born equal. We don't all have the same opportunity. We don't. We just don't. The fact of the matter is. So when you come up in poverty, when you come up in when you don't have much, you grow up maybe differently from an individual that lives in a, $500,000-$600,000 house, gets a car at 16. Their parents have money and trust funds and everything set up. And you come up in the ghetto. You come up in a trailer park. You come up in just whatever, a situation that's not ideal as far as financially. So your ways of getting it and living is totally different from this person. But this person will say, oh, well, I haven't had it that way. My parents, they made me earn everything I had. Yeah, but you living in a $500,000 house. So they may have made you earn it. But what is really earning it? What did you have to go to school, get good grades? You had to do a couple tasks, couple chores or what have you. And then they present you with a $50,000 Benz, $30,000 Camry, whatever the case may be. You're not really able to relate to an individual that came up in a bad situation as far as you got abuse, you got drugs, you got fathers absent in the home. You have other siblings that you have to take care of, and you the oldest, or, you feel like you have to step up and make sure that they eat. So there's a whole different element that a lot of people don't understand and realize. So, when you're dealing with these sort of situations, it's not wise to just be judgmental, at least not so quickly. And as I mentioned, everybody, not everybody, so I'm just speaking, like I said, 98, 99% of the people were still cool. But the individuals that were saying this and were saying that, they didn't know really what was going on. They was prejudging him. I'm not following Jay no more. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And the entire time, it wasn't what you all thought. They trump charges up on you to make it more difficult for you to get out. But a lot of people, they just didn't understand that because they didn't want to understand. Some people actually took the time to say, you know what? I don't like this guy anyway. He's never done anything to anyone, but I don't like this guy anyway, simply because he's successful. Here he is on YouTube acting like he's all perfect, acting like he's all tough, acting like he's, holier than thou. Now look at him. That's how, some people actually, that's what they were saying. You have to understand that when you're driving a car and them blue lights, you see them blue lights in your rear view, automatically there's a panic that sets over you, that comes over you. The other day I get pulled over. I'm coming out of the gas station. Speedways are, there's a heavy presence. Speedway gas stations here in, Kentucky. I'm coming out of the gas station. As soon as I come out of the gas station, it wasn't probably 20 feet. I see those blue lights. Now, when I see those lights, instinctively, I'm like, oh man, instinctively, it was quickly. It was briefly, rather. But my first instinct was, man, I gotta go. Then I had to quickly snap back into reality. Like, I haven't done anything. But sometimes it's not even about if you've done anything. If you have a past, your past will forever haunt you. Jay said it. I don't care if you've been out of prison for 10 years. I don't care if you've been out of prison for 20 years. Guess what they're going to look? This is what they're going to focus on. Oh, well, this guy 17 years ago did this, so he's violent. And you're knowing that when the police is behind you. Should you run? No. I'm not condoning. I wouldn't run. But then again, it depends on what I got on me. Depends on what I got. I'm just keeping it real with you. A good run beats a bad stance any day. So they were trying to say, oh, well, he ran because, he had a gun on him and he had to throw the gun off. And come on, man. Like he said, this was hours after the alleged incident happened anyway. So why would he still have anything on him? He knew. He was already alerted. He was already, as he said, his sister had the scanner. She had already, informed him that the police was looking for him. So why would he have anything on him? But he can't say these things at the time because he's fighting. It's an ongoing case. His lawyer has instructed him, do not say anything. They are watching. Even though you feel as though, well, why can't I say anything? I don't have anything to hide. I'm just telling my truth. You can't give your story. You can't give your side until it's all said and done. So in the meanwhile, people are just forming opinions about you. He's this, he's that, he let us down, he disappointed us. So as I mentioned, I just started making the videos. We ended up speaking. One conversation turned into a couple turned into 4 or 5. So the thing about it is this. I have so much respect and admiration for the guy because despite what he's going through, man, he'll hit me up sometimes. What's up, man? How you doing? How the family doing? I know things about him that he's personally told me that you all have no clue of. Have no clue. Now, I won't tell these things because that's for him to tell. That's for him to let you all know. And I felt, when I was watching that video, that live, I felt him, man. I felt his pain. He's not the type of person that wants to tell everybody what he does for people. Trust and believe. Jay Williams, man. Trust and believe. He does a lot. And you have people that'll tell you, oh, man, if you need me for something, just call me. Just holler at me. I'm a phone call away. I'm a text away. But a lot of those people, they're not talking about opening their wallet up. No, they're not talking about that. They're talking about, okay, if you need me to make a call for you, or if you need a ride, or if you need, for me to kind of point you in the right direction, give you some advice. They're not talking about opening that wallet up. Not Jay. Like I said, man. And I'll leave it up to him to, tell it if he wants to tell it. But I doubt it because it's not the type of individual he is. Man, he does so much for people. He don't know me other than through YouTube. I guarantee you. If I found myself in a situation and I had to hit him up, hey, Jay, I'm in this, my car stopped. I'm on the side of the highway. I need to get my, towed. I don't have any money. I need $150, man. What's your cash app? Voila. That's never happened. That's just a situation to where I think if it came to that, no questions asked, man. That's the type of individual that he is. When he was telling me certain things, it was just like, wow. He already shared that he raises a little girl that's not his. I believe he said she's 5. Average person's not doing that. Average individual's not going to do anything like that. So for you all that have something negative to say about him and all of these negative things, do you have a heaven or a hell to put anyone in? Since you have an opinion about this man, show me your heaven or hell that you own. Show me your closet. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Should he have ran from the police? No, he acknowledges that. Because had he not ran, guess what? This situation will be resolved at this point. But he did. He has to face it. He faced it. Knowing that he was going to do time, that's the hardest thing to do, is get on here and speak on YouTube. Because you have ups and you have downs. You have moments that are up and down. He has a 22-year-old son. As he mentioned, his son is he can handle it a little bit better because he's 22. He's an adult. But then you got this 6-year-old little boy that my dad is my hero. Not to say that the 22-year-old son doesn't feel that way. But I'm saying with the 6-year-old, my dad can do no wrong. This is the guy that I look up to. And you're in a situation where ultimately I'm going to be taken away from my kids, from my family, from my friends, loved ones. There's no way around it. I can fight it. I can get the best lawyer in the world. But I'm going to be taken away at some point. So knowing that I'm going to be taken away, I have to just try to figure out how I can be taken away for the least amount of time, if that makes any sense to you. Kind of had to loop that. So you're sitting there and you're looking at your kid asleep, or they're playing basketball, or they're eating, or you're just watching them play, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to be taken away from this child. I'm going to be taken away from my wife. Who's going to be here to protect them? Yeah, friends will call, they'll check on them, but no one's going to do it like me, because this is my family. Who's going to be around to do the things that I've always done? And it scares you. All type of things go through your mind. I can just take my family, we can just go. It's not TV, it's not the movies. It's not going to work out for you like that. And so you have your moments to where when it's like, man, where's Jay? How come Jay's not uploading more? How come? First of all, he's spending as much time as he possibly can with his family. The 5-year-old little girl that he spoke of. Trying to make sure that everything is everything. Trying to make sure that everything's aligned, because he knows that he's going to have to be gone. But there's a point in time to where he don't know. They're talking about 3 years and 8 months. 3 years and 8 months away from my family. What are we supposed to do? How are we going to maintain? I got a mortgage. I got car, how are we going to live? These things are stressful. But with all that being said, the first thing he says to me every time we talk, how you doing? How's your family doing? How your kids doing? Think about that. He pushes everything to the side, what he's going through, to ask me, how your family doing, man? More concern for other individuals, and I'm saying this in a good way, than what he has going on at that particular moment. It's not that he's more concerned, but he just kind of, pushes that to the side. It's not all about him. Man, the dude is so humble, man. You talk to him, he knows who he is. He knows his stature. Man, the guy's so humble. You just sit there and talk to him as though, if you all ever had an opportunity to speak with him on the phone, it's just like his videos. It's nothing no different. Same demeanor, same delivery, same. He's not man, I'm Jay Williams, man. These people, I'm just on here, man, and same dude. Ferris Bueller, no days off. The same cat. Same dude. Every time I speak to him. Sometimes, he's busy, like I said, because, he's raising kids. So we was talking one time, and I called him, man, and he answered the phone, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm out here with my son, man. I'm teaching him to dribble. He's really into basketball. He's taking a liking to basketball, so, so I say, hey, Jay, man, make sure that, is he right-handed? He's like, yeah, make sure he can go left. Make sure he can use both his hands. He's like, I'm already on it. It's just little stuff like that. I'm not going to hold you up, man. You out there with your son, doing the family thing, what have you. He's like, yeah, I just want to, answer your call, whatever, let you know, man, that's the type of guy that he is. But then when this whole situation, occurred, it was just like, it's like some people are praying on your downfall, for your downfall. It's crazy. But that's just the way that the world is. So as I was saying, when you're sitting there and you're looking at your child and you know that you're going to be taken away from them, and it's like, how do I explain this to a 6-year-old that daddy's not going to be here to tuck you in at night? Daddy's not going to be here to, check on you throughout the night when you're not feeling good, when you have a nightmare. Daddy's not going to be here in the morning to wake you up, get your breakfast, get you dressed for school, take you to school. Daddy's not going to be here to practice basketball with you, to make sure you're using that left hand. Go to your practices, go to your games, to hear about your day, to help you with your homework, your schoolwork. Daddy's not going to be here. It's the most crushing feeling in the world. Disappointment. Feeling as though you let your entire family down, your loved ones down. Years ago, I had found myself in a situation very, very similar to this. Different charges, but same situation. Because of my past, they took something that I did and made it a crime. It shouldn't even have been a crime in the first place. But they made it a misdemeanor. I'm on parole at the time. Parole officer, I done been on parole. I ain't had no trouble. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do. She's telling me, if it's a misdemeanor, I'm not going to violate you. I'm like, cool. I go to court one day. They upgrade my charges. I get arrested right there in court, unexpectedly. They upgrade my charges to felony charges. Commonwealth states can do what they want to do. Commonwealth states make the rules and laws as they go. There's so many different loopholes that they have in the system. So they made something that shouldn't even have been a charge to a misdemeanor, from a misdemeanor to a felony. I'm like, I'm fighting this. going back and forth to court. I'm going to trial. Prosecution files what's called I believe it's called a 404B, prior bad acts. Now, what that means is, had I went to trial and I got up on the stands and I explained to the jury why I ended up owing this bank $1,600 that I had already paid back, they had gotten all the money back, $1,600. They say, okay, we're going to show the jury your entire criminal history. 404B, prior bad acts, absence of mistake. It couldn't have been a mistake because this was your actual MO. This is what you do. Going back and forth. I'm fighting it. We're in the room one day. It's my attorney, it's the prosecutor, and it's the detective. Detective couldn't stand me. My attorney's like, why are we doing this? Is this what it's come to? He's paid this money back. It wasn't a mistake in the first place. Why are we even doing this? Is there any way we can get this down to a misdemeanor? Heck, I told him I'd take 12 months in the county jail. I'd literally go do 12 months in the county jail, which is hell, to avoid it being a felony. Because I'm on parole, so if it's a felony, I'm automatically getting sent back, and I'd rather just do the 12 months and know when I'm coming home, opposed to going back on a felony because I don't know when I'm going to come home. Well, we'll leave that up to the detective, if whatever he wants to do. So my attorney's like, yeah, but you're the prosecutor. Say the least, they never would. I still want to go to trial, but my attorney's telling me, I don't know. I don't recommend that. If that's what you want to do, I'll prepare and I'll give it my all. But once they see your criminal history, it's a wrap. End up having to, let me rewind. So my attorney tells me, if we go to trial, this is what's, could potentially happen. More than likely, this is what's going to happen. So the entire time, I'm looking at my kids. I'm looking at my mother. She's getting older. I'm looking at my family. The disappointment sets in like, wow, I'm in a depressed mode. I'd rather die than go back to prison at this particular time. This was my mind frame at the time. One day, I just had enough. Stopped at the liquor store, got me a beer. I don't really drink a lot. I had me a beer, deuce. It was a bridge that I knew of. Sitting right there at the bridge. Raining. Rain is coming down. I'm talking about it's raining. Crazy. I don't have my defrost on or anything, so the windows are all fogged up. I'm just sitting in the car. This particular day, I thought about seeing if I could fly. I have to tell my kids, I have to tell my mother that I'm going back to prison. That it's not that I can't do the time, it's the disappointment of going back to prison. Thought about seeing if I could fly that day. I'm sitting there and I'm drinking my drink. Tears just streaming down my... Tears streaming down my face. Because of the disappointment, I didn't want my family to be disappointed once again. And as I sit there and I contemplate it, my phone rings. And when I look down at my phone, it's my mother. And it's nothing like a mother, hearing your mother, that motherly voice. She's telling me everything's going to be okay. And I just boo-hooed. like I said, it wasn't so much of me having to do time. I've done time. I can do time. I don't like it. Don't like it. Don't glorify it. But I can do the time. It's the disappointment. In a way, it's like my mom talked me down off a bridge, and she never knew where I was at. She never knew. And after having that conversation with my mother, I decided to just face it. I took the 2-year sentence that they was offering me. I didn't run, which I thought about it. Went on and did what I had to do and got it over with. So when Jay was telling that story, see, all of this correlates. So I'm not trying to make this about me because it's not about me. It's just about me understanding. So when Jay told that story about him having to explain to his 6-year-old that daddy's not going to be there, man, that hit home with me. It hit home. You're in prison. Your child is, 4, 5, 6 years old. And after the visit is over with, come on, Dad, let's go. They don't understand why you can't leave with them. So now you have to see them. They're crying. They're looking back and fighting and, I want my dad, please. Dad, come with us. You're sitting there, you're fighting back tears. You in prison, so you can't really just be crying and you seeing the hurt. Your decisions, my decisions that I made, I'm seeing I made my kid cry. She don't understand why I can't leave. She don't understand why, I'm not there. She don't understand why I'm not at her soccer practice, cheerleading. She don't understand. We all do things that we're not supposed to do. Again, I'm not condoning anything. And we must pay for our actions. But let me ask you this. Public humiliation, face plastered all over the internet. Jay Williams this, Jay Williams that. Jay goes to jail. Like I said, mugshot, all the money that he had to pay, having to be at home on a ankle brace, monitoring to where they test you, randomly for drugs, alcohol, everything. You mean to tell me that's not enough? He's a name with a past. Now, we going to get some jail time out of him. We got to get some jail time. You mean to tell me that he hasn't already endured enough? Not just him, because he's Jay Williams, just anybody. Okay, I took the police on a high-speed chase. I shouldn't have done it. I did it. But see, the prosecution, they got ice in their veins. They don't care nothing about him being Jay Williams. They don't care nothing about his 300,000, subscribers, more than that or whatever. They don't care. If anything, that's going to push them to go harder. Because it's going to kind of, we took Jay Williams down. They don't care that you've changed your life. They don't care that you haven't been in trouble. As far as they're concerned, he's just been getting away with it for years, and now we finally caught up with him. So he took the police, on a chase for a reason. He ran for a reason. Whatever he had, he probably got rid of. This is how they think. So they're not going to be willing to really work with you like that. Heartfelt story that he told, man. Swallowing 30 Xannies. 30. When he told me that over the phone, I was like, wow, bro. I understand. No amount of time away from your family and your kids is good. He talked about how they was trying to give him 3 years and 8 months. He ended up getting a year. He decided that he's going to go on and get it over with. So he can be home by Thanksgiving, Christmas, basketball season. I understand, bro. I'm going to continue to support you, be that bridge, whatever I can do. Let me know. I would just encourage people to understand that, again, all we are is flesh. Some of you all do things that you're not supposed to do. Some of you all cheat on your taxes a little bit. Some of you, if you have a injury, or if you get in a wreck, or someone breaks into your home, you claim a little bit more than what you should claim. Act as though you're a little bit more hurt than, what you are. Some of you cheat on your wife, flirt a little bit at work, if not more. Some of you flirt, your husband, cheating on your husband, or flirting with other guys that's inappropriate that you wouldn't, your husband wouldn't approve of. Some of you watch things on your phone, on your computer that you shouldn't be watching. Let's keep it real. But you'll get on here and judge somebody else and be like, yeah, but I didn't break the law. Having a criminal record is one of the worst things in the world. Because you're always, it's like a cycle. You're going to continuously keep paying for the crime that you already did time over. Well, back in 99, he did this. 99? You talking about, yeah, and I did 5 years? Your past gets you every single time. So when you see those blue lights and you've gone through that, and the trauma of being in prison, sometimes you just react and it's like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? At that point, it's too late. He's here for a purpose. They had guns drawn on him. He's here for a purpose. He's inspired a lot of people. I heard him say on his live that he doesn't have a lot of talents. He got all the talent in the world. He was put here to lead. He was put here to help people. People literally flock to his video, can't wait until he drops a video. Because they want to hear, how's he doing? They want to, that it's that inspiration. All the people that he's inspired. Me being one of them. So with all this being said, that's kind of why I decided to, started speaking out for him and being that bridge. He didn't ask me to. He didn't know me. The dude is so cool. He was like, look, man, we're going to have to go live sometimes. And basically, he's willing to introduce his audience to me. I say, look, Jay, if that happens, at some point, it's cool. But once again, real recognize real. That's not what I'm here for. You got it out the mud, so I got to get mine out the mud. Like I said, if we ever end up, doing something together, going live or what have you, that's cool. I'm not going to turn it down. I don't ask him for that. I talked to Big Lee over at Hustle Spirit 502, Fleece Johnson. We speak about doing something eventually, but it's never these guys that I'm in communication with. Terrence Gangster Williams. We communicate back and forth from time to time. There's no motive. Just support, man. Just support. So I just want to let you know, Jay, I'm proud of you, man. You're doing what you got to do. I know it's 7 months you got to go do. Man, just stay in that Bible. Stay in your book. Stay doing positive things, helping people, inspiring people, because that's your gift. That's your gift. You good with your hands. You good with, construction. You're good with fixing cars, tattooing, all that stuff. You got plenty of talents. But your real gift is inspiring people, giving people hope, inspiration. Hope, man. Well, Jay did it. Maybe I can do it. It's your true talents, man. Be praying for you. Like I said, 7 months. It's easy for me to sit here and say, or it's easy for other people to say, oh man, it could have been worse. And it could have. It definitely could have. But you get in there, like I said, man, you stay in that book, and I'm not telling you anything we haven't already discussed or anything that you don't already know. You can look up, a month's gone past, in 2 months. Then you're going to look up and you're halfway through. Then you had 5 months. He had 6 months. I got another month. Now I'm right back reunited with your family, man. You got support. You got people who's going to write you. I don't know if y'all use JPay in Virginia. I'm sure that you do. Whatever the situation is, people you can talk to, because you know, in prison you got some bad days. You got some lonely days, man. Not so good days sometimes. But it all come to an end. And you'll be right there, once again, reunited, back with your family, man. Salute. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification so anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Once again, man, salute.